Hi, Deepa Rani Shekar from Transform Life Programs, Love and Light. In my previous video, I spoke about the reasons for breakup and also promised you I will give you more on how to handle a breakup post the breakup. And I agree, breakups are very hard. It's really a very challenging time. So it's very painful. We'll go to that and see how best it can be handled, how best people can come out of it unscathed as far as possible. So before that, as always, at the outset, let me tell you a story. This is about a couple who went to buy antiques in a very big store in a country in the UK. And there was a very beautiful teacup which caught their attention. It was exquisitely made, very beautifully inlaid and painted and all that. So as they were looking at it, the teacup spoke to them. And the teacup said, "You know what? I was not the same. I was not the same before. I remember myself as a lump of clay. And there was this man, one day he just scooped me up from where I was just laying around and he started pounding me. Oh my God, it was so very painful as he pounded. And he pounded me more, and then he started spinning me on a wheel. My head was really dizzy and spinning. He wouldn't stop. He started beating me into a different shape. I was not sure what he was making of me. He brought a beautiful shape to the lump that I was. And I thought, okay, it's over. Let me rest a while. No, it was not done, friends. He put me into an oven. The heat was really unbearable. I just did not know what to do. I begged, pleaded, and cried, but he had no mercy. He just increased the heat of the oven, and I was roasted in the oven. I came out hard and crisp and thin. And then he let me cool. It was so good. Cooling down after all that freaking heat was really good. Damn good. But by the time I got into my comfort zone, he picked me up again and started brushing me with paint. The fumes were horrible. I could not bear it. But he wouldn't listen. But he painted me. He put a lot of colors. He put a dash of varnish and a lot of other stuff. And he put me back, even before I recovered from this paint, he put me back into the oven again. I was horrified. I did not know what to do, and I had no choice. Again, the oven was full of heat blasted me. But then when I came out, I was crying, telling him, "This is not fair. How could you do this to me? You know, I'm unbearably hot. I'm not able to bear it." So he just let me cool down, picked me up and showed me in the mirror and said, "Look, who is that?" It was me. I could not believe that I had taken such a beautiful form. I was amazed at the way I had transformed. So friends, during a breakup, we are like the clay. All that happens is the process that the teacup went through. And situations, external and internal reasons are the potter working on the clay. If you have to be beautiful, if you have to stand out significantly, sometimes you got to go through this phases of pottery. Bear with the pain and come out as a beautiful artifact. Or you will be a lump of clay Nobody even notices. I'm not saying it's mandatory to go through pain, but if the relationship is not working, you may have to go through pain to come out as a better human being. Agree? Okay. Now, let's go to the actuals of what happens in a breakup. The first stage is doubt. Shall I tell? Shall I not tell? Should I tell? Shouldn't I tell? Would it hurt the person? Would it not hurt the person? How will the person manage? And then, most often than not, we don't think of ourselves. We usually think of the other person in the relationship. And finally, when we tell, after it is told, we feel very sorry, very guilty. Lot of emotions go on a ride. And we, oh my God, I should never have told it, is what we feel. But it is communicated. And never, like I told you in my previous video, never take a decision when you're very angry. Think about it. Stay for a couple of days, and if your decision is still the same, go ahead and tell the other person. Once you have told, stick to it. And if you or the other person keeps going back and forth, think about how it would be if you really went back. Never be desperate to get back. Never let go of your dignity for anyone or anything. Never choose to be the doormat. And don't go to this mistake of negotiating to right all the wrongs, to promise to fix all the problems that happened. That means you are signing up the contract for repairing, maintenance, sustenance, the guarantee, warranty, whatever of the relationship, single-handed by you. The other person is not going to pitch in. So initially it might be good, but in the long run, it's not easy to always be the maintenance guy. Understand that. And you might find it very difficult because it feels like a huge void. But before going back, think if the person would really change. If the change is permanent and consistent, because what a person promises through the relationship, by the time you broke up, you will know how consistent the person is in keeping up promises, how consistent the person is in changing attitudes, ways, behavior, whatever. So think about all that. It's not fun to go back and forth. The pain will be the same every time you come back. So don't put yourselves through that. And though you make a compromise and go, for a while it would be okay. It would be okay for a while. Temporarily the experience seems good, but then reality comes pounding over eventually. Okay? Until issues are resolved at the grassroots level, it never changes. It will always go for a relapse. When I say grassroots level, it could be childhood issues, childhood trauma, dysfunctional family, broken family, or trauma of a family where everybody was fighting each other, anything, or childhood abuse. When I say, it could mean verbal abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, it could mean anything. And when a person has not overcome the trauma of abuse, they tend to go back into their insecurities. And the person has to work on self-esteem, otherwise the relationship that is broken up or a new relationship would never ever work. So work on your hope before you move on. Move on is move to another relationship, or if you really consider going back to the previous relationship as well, work on your hope before you actually do that. Otherwise there's no hope actually. So if you're unable to handle it, please feel free to seek help. When I say help, professional help. Mutual friends always get subjective, and relatives and parents also get subjective. So always seek professional help and see that you sort it out once and for all, and you have certain set of guidelines to follow so that you don't go into the same pattern again and again. Without completely changing your personality, try to accommodate getting back to a relationship or moving on to a new relationship. When I say without changing your personality completely, suppose somebody is a socialite, the partner says, no, I'm an introvert and I'm very possessive, blah blah blah, you cannot socialize, you totally give up socializing. Your personality has been squeezed, held very tight. It can get claustrophobic, it can get suffocating. If the person is career oriented and the partner says, no, I want somebody who's a homemaker, look for a different partner, because it's an important part of your personality. And again, if you feel the relationship is so important, think about all aspects, whether you would be happy being the homemaker alone, or if somebody is wanting to be a homemaker and the partner says, no, I want somebody who will contribute equally on the financial front. Would you be okay to take up the challenges of a career and home and balancing both? Is it worth giving up traits of your personality to accommodate a relationship? Think about that. Nothing is indispensable, friends. Nobody is indispensable. So, how do you survive? These are the stages. The worst phase of a breakup is people tend to want to go back to the relationship. There is always that urge to text and say, can we get on together? But then I'm not focusing on getting back together as good or bad, or saying never get back is not what I'm saying. That's not my point. Who gets back to whom is none of my business. But if you go back, will the relationship change? Will the person respect you? Or would the person taunt you for having gone back because you could not manage on your own? What would be the dynamics of the relationship? Be aware of that. And are you sure the person will change? Are you sure you'll be happy in the relationship? See, if a relationship is not keeping you happy, it is just not worth it. Any relationship for that matter. And you have to work on your self-esteem and self-worth if you have to hold the relationship and your dignity both together. So work on these things. Like I told you, if need be, seek professional help. This is how stages of a breakup goes. Now, how do you survive a breakup? Completely grieve your breakup. That doesn't mean keep brooding for months. Take a day, 2, max 3 days to grieve so that you never grieve for that again. Once you cry, it should wipe out everything. You should never cry for the same issue again. Make sure of that. Purgation is very important to release everything from your body, mind, emotions, and soul. So cleanse everything, rinse everything. But that doesn't mean it's necessary to create a scene. Call up everybody, have status of a broken heart, keep crying. No. Do it quietly, indiscreetly. Okay? And most important, forgive your ex and move on. And forgive yourself. That's also more important. Forgive yourself. It's circumstantial. Nobody is at fault. Just move on without holding on to grudges and any hard feelings. And hang out with people who support and nurture you. And don't think you can drink and get over it. You'll be drowning into more sorrows. Okay? And keep yourself occupied till you completely get over it. Do something which is nurturing and enriching to you. Whatever makes you happy. Be with people who make you happy. Don't be with people who are depressive or who keep asking you, digging about why the relationship doesn't work and things like that. And clear your closet. When I say clear your closet, delete all the messages, all the photos, give away all the gifts. Either you return it or you dispose it, is up to you. So see that you move ahead with fresh thoughts, fresh ideas, and be a new person. If you keep going back and forth, there's no point. When you move on, until you're very sure that you have cleared everything in your closet, don't keep meeting this person as a friend. Saying we are friends and we are going to move on is not going to happen, because that hope that you can still get back always stays. I'm not saying get into the space of being sworn enemies, but keep a healthy space until you move on completely. And never ever discuss personal or special things with your ex, it never works well. And always see that you value the person who was in that relationship at that time with you. Never keep going back and forth, back and forth. So, a breakup is very painful, but remember that from the lump of clay, you will become the beautiful teacup. I'm not saying everybody has to go through this, but remember to uphold your dignity, your self esteem, your self worth. And I'm not saying be selfish, just be demanding. No, there should be that healthy give and take. And every relationship dynamics are different. Never compare and say theirs was this and it ended like this. So never do that. Be honest in whatever you do. Have your own integrity up and straight when you do something. Learn to stand up to yourself. So never be emotionally hurt. Never let yourself go to the dumps, and never let a relationship affect you for the rest of your lifetime. Know that you are too precious. Don't focus only on the relationship. You have other relationships like your parents, your siblings, your friends who also care for you. So, in grieving for this relationship, don't go into a pain circle giving pain to all the other people who are connected to you. And get healthy, stay safe, stay away from toxic people in all types of relationships. Hope this helped, and thank you for joining me, Deepa Rani Shekar from Transform Life Programs. Love and light.